I'm Eric Shawn in New York. We're breaking into Sunday Morning Futures with breaking news from Plains, Georgia, where former First Lady Rosalynn Carter has died. Mrs. Carter was 96 years old. The Carter Center just making that announcement one day after revealing the former First Lady had entered hospice care at home in Plains. Back in Maine, the Carter Center said that the former First Lady had been diagnosed with dementia. You know, the Carters wed back in 1946. They are the longest married presidential couple in history, 76 years. Her husband, former President Jimmy Carter, well, he, of course, has been ailing. He is 98 years old, and he entered hospice earlier this year. Chief political correspondent Bret Baier takes a look now at the life of the former First Lady.
Former First Lady Rosalynn Carter was born in the small town of Plains, Georgia in 1927, the same place as her husband, the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter.
I, Jimmy Carter, do solemnly swear.
And even though the couple only spent one term in the White House, Rosalynn Carter's effect is still felt in Washington.
I'd never doubted that he could be a great president.
While her husband was working on Middle East peace and trying to stem rising gas prices, First Lady Rosalynn Carter was busy consulting with the president on both domestic and foreign affairs. She even attended cabinet meetings, sitting in any available seat. "Jimmy and I were always partners," she once said. In 1977, she visited Central and South America as the president's personal representative, holding high-level meetings with leaders on issues like human rights, beef exports, and drug trafficking. But the First Lady's lasting impact is the role she played as honorary chair of the President's Commission on Mental Health.
That was the beginning of a lifelong crusade for me to try to help make life better for people with mental illnesses.
Mrs. Carter, who started her work on mental health as the First Lady of Georgia, oversaw a 20-person advisory board and developed 30 task forces for the commission. Her work resulted in a final report recommending the implementation of the largest reform of mental health legislation in close to 3 decades. Rosalynn Carter also made sure to tend to the more traditional duties of her job as First Lady and mother to the Carters' daughter, Amy. She insisted Amy go to public school in Washington, D.C., and she began what is now normal for all First Ladies, a staff and office in the East Wing of the White House. Most of Mrs. Carter's work has been done since she and her husband left Washington after losing the 1980 election to Ronald Reagan. She spent over 20 years on the board of the Carter Foundation in Atlanta, and both she and her husband worked on building houses for Habitat for Humanity. "There is nothing more important," she said, "than a good, safe, secure home." When President Carter continued to travel in the years after his presidency, Rosalynn Carter went along with her husband, visiting China in 2010, meeting with former Palestinian President Yasser Arafat in 1990, and attending the Democratic National Convention in New York in 1992. Rosalynn Carter also continued to spend time in Washington, meeting with her successors. She was one of several women family members of past presidents who were honored by First Lady Michelle Obama at a Mother's Day event at the White House in 2010.
Thank you.
In her later years, Rosalynn joined her husband in his work for the Carter Center. They assisted with international conflict resolution and observed elections such as the historic referendum for South Sudan in 2011. They also focus on health programs, fighting to prevent and eliminate neglected tropical diseases like guinea worm and river blindness. Through it all, Rosalynn encouraged her husband through his brain cancer battle and recovery.
We've had an outpouring of support and prayers, and it's been really, in spite of all that's going on, it's been really kind of wonderful just to know that we have that kind of support.
Rosalynn Carter was diagnosed with dementia at age 95. The Carters were married for more than 75 years. They built a family with 4 children and more than a dozen grand and great-grandchildren. In Washington, Bret Baier, Fox News.
Again, the sad news to report to you this afternoon. Rosalynn Carter passing away in Plains, Georgia. She was 96 years old. You know, Mrs. Carter, through those years, she had a nickname, Steel Magnolia. If you remember that, she was a strong force behind her husband's political career, rising from a peanut farmer. He, of course, went to Annapolis. He was a nuclear engineer on submarines. Started his first campaign for the state Senate in Georgia. She was by his side at that time. At a time in the South when he embraced blacks and whites, involving African Americans in his campaigns and reaching out to them. He was elected governor and then president in 1976. Mr. Carter at the time saying to the American people, "I will never lie to you," in a sense, trying to establish a new sense of ethics in the wake of President Richard Nixon's resignation and then the election of Gerald Ford, or actually the appointment of Gerald Ford, who then succeeded Mr. Nixon in the presidency. Jimmy Carter rising from the plain-spokenness of Plains, Georgia, to the White House. And, of course, the controversies dealing with the Iranian hostage crisis that he endured for 444 days. She also participated in many of their charitable attributes, Habitat for Humanity, building homes for the less fortunate, traveling the world for the Carter Center. Mr. Carter, known for the Camp David Accords as well as for his participation in the human rights. Chip Carter, one of their sons, others, Jack, involved in politics, elected to local politics in Georgia. And what is shocking to a lot of people, I think, is that she was the Carter Center announced a couple of days ago that she was suffering from dementia, entered into hospice, this all the time, while her husband has been in hospice care since earlier this year. He is right now 98 years old. She was 96, and even after serving in the White House, they returned to their home in Plains, Georgia, which they bought in 1961 for $167,000. He was $1 million in debt when he left the White House because of the peanut business.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.